I love having different entrepreneurs on. And our next guest, his dad actually started the business, and with us now is John Lancia. Hello, how are you?
Good. Good afternoon. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, you know, when we first met, I love the story about how your dad would put you as a young man on some of the jobs. And so you really know the entire business from like every screw, every nail, every piece of sheetrock.
Oh, yeah, basically. I just swept floors for years.
Okay.
You know, it was a summer job. You know, Italian kids didn't have camp. You know, they just went to work with their fathers, and that's it. And I've just been, you know, through college, I worked with them, and then I went to college and graduated, and just stuck with it ever since.
Now, that was one of the fascinating things that I found is that you could have just gone in and worked for his business, but you decided to maybe go ahead and get an education at the same time.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But your summers, you were there, every job site.
Yes, every job site, yeah. Breaks and stuff like that. It was him. He wanted me to get an education, and he's like, you know, I work morning, noon, and night, and, you know, I'm very happy. I'm very fortunate to have my education, even, you know, even though sometimes you don't use it, but it's still there. You know, I use it every day in other ways.
He started out being a builder and creating, was it multi-family homes, multi-residential homes, or how did it start? Back in the day, how did it all begin for him?
No, no BS. It's just he started on a Pay and Saver ad. He worked for the union.
Oh.
And he used to work at night, and then after the union job, he used to work at night, and it's just, you know, word of mouth.
Wow.
You know, and then that's it. And then, you know, Lou Lancia, and he got a good following, and, you know, we've been keeping it up ever since.
It's a beautiful tradition that you take.
We've actually done quite a few jobs for our customers' kids already, so it's pretty funny, you know.
It's kind of like a teacher when first day of school, and then you realize that you had that parent in class, and then you have the child, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of like that, a family tradition type of thing.
Exactly.
What's the largest scale project that you've ever worked on yourself, and can you tell us a little bit about that? Something big. Because I know you do everything from just closets to grandiose projects.
Yeah,
so.
I would say in Montauk on Westlake Drive was an 8,000 square foot home, 7 bedrooms, 8 baths.
Okay.
That was a long project, and then the largest one recently, that was several years ago. The largest one recently is in Oyster Bay, where we turned the Octagon Hotel into 6 apartments and 4 residential stores. So that was a large project too. That took us about 13 to 14 months.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things we talked about too is the fact that sometimes people, they know they have a space issue. And I heard that you're like the go-to guy to help them figure out like what can be done.
Yeah, you know, and you got to study it a little bit, and it's kind of a knack of mine. You know, there's certain parameters that need to follow. So if we're building you a kitchen and you want to eat inside that kitchen, you got to make sure you keep a 12-foot distance from the center of the table all the way around, so you could circulate easily.
The chairs in and out.
Yeah, so you're not saying, excuse me, and, you know, I can't get through, and you get that. So that dens where family gathers, you want to maintain a 16-foot, you know, so you could circulate more. You could put a floating couch. Couch could be floating. It could be against the wall where the TV is. All that, you know, plays in it incorporates itself in that. So in that space.
Have you ever walked into a project and just kind of thrown your hands up and was like, oh, because like somebody tried to do it themselves for way too many years? Have you ever walked into somebody's like bad haircut, but they did it on their house?
Yes.
Okay. Without naming names, John, I'm just like wondering, but like, you ever open the door and be like, oh man.
They did the open layout concept.
Okay.
And it spanned 30 feet. But they forgot to raise the ceiling. So it's only 8 feet. So when you walk through it, it didn't look so grand because it's too long and it's only 8 feet. So when you do that open layout, that concept that everybody wants, you really gotta go to the 9-foot height to get that grandness in it.
So you walked in and you're like, I'm in a box.
Yeah,
like a matchbox.
It felt squatty because it was too long and too, you know.
That's great advice.
So it's you walk into a couple of the, you know,
or they remove
Well, it
the
was
support beams, and then you're like, oh, your floor's gonna, people don't realize that. Like, I think sometimes they want to expand maybe a ranch into a 2-story, but
Right.
they don't realize that you have to have structural pieces in place
Well, you
to
have to have
hold
your-
that second floor.
Oh yeah, you have
right?
to have bearing walls and stuff like that. But you now with the engineered lumber is excellent now.
Okay.
Laminated boards, LVLs. We use a lot of that. Glue lams. That's newer technology. Same workmanship.
Right.
But it's a different type of lumber that we use.
One of the things I know about you too is that you're a craftsman. So you're taking the old world craftsmanship,
Right.
but using new technology to kind of have a tapestry, if you will. make a
Yeah, well,
blend.
you have to because everything changes all the time, and there are things now that my father's never seen or never even heard of. But it's true, we do things all the time. Like years ago, we used to do radiant heat. It was only in tile.
Right.
Well, now we mastered it. Now we can put it on the wood.
Really?
Without it cupping, but you can only go 4-inch wide.
Okay.
Some people want to go 8, 9. Those 8-inch wide planks, pine boards. You can't do that over radiant heat right now, but it does still cup,
And you
But
also do solutions too, I know, for people. Like you were telling me the story about the person that had a bedroom but had no closets, and you were able to configure it so she got a closet.
Yeah, it's just, you got to really think about it once again. And, when you start, gutting a house, they want it gutted, they want it reconfigured. Once you start seeing the space that provides, you could add a walk-in closet. You could do that. All I did was for that person, she had an attached garage, but nothing behind it. So all we did was bump out 8 feet. She got a beautiful walk-in closet, and not super expensive. She didn't break the bank on it or nothing like that, but she got what she wanted. But you got to have a little faith in your contractor, or you have your faith in me, and we know what we're talking about. Because we know the way people want to live. Like now, laundry rooms on the second floor, very big. Where are all your clothes? In your bedrooms. So you want, the laundry in the bedroom areas. Not that you go all the way down
Right.
into the basement, and you go
Right.
through
All the way back
and then all the way back up, and then laundry becomes a drawer. Some women still like to do, they like the laundry room off the den. They watch a TV at night. They want to throw in a load. It all depends on their lifestyle.
Right. And bachelors too, because I have a couple of friends that are bachelors, right? They want that. They want to be able to come home from work, whatever, throw
Right.
and
Well,
go.
that's what a stackable's for.
Right.
So, yeah, so they'll just go in, throw in their workout gear, put it in the dryer. The next day they got it, as they're walking out the door. So, those we put in closets.
Now,
So-
when you're not creating a wonderful space for people to live in, how do you like to live it up? What do you do with your family? How do you celebrate life, John? What's fun for you?
Well, anything that makes my wife happy, that's that's fun for me.
Happy wife, happy life.
You got it.
Ta-da-da-da.
No, I'm very fortunate enough. We do have a place out in Montauk that I do.
Okay.
I have a 7-year-old daughter. She's, my world. And we follow her around now. She's doing soccer and tournaments, and she's very active, which is great. So we follow her around, but that's really how I live it up through my family.
And you also you're very charitable of spirit. I know that you work with a lot of nonprofit organizations. You're always giving back to the community.
Yeah.
I know those things make you happy too.
Yeah, we did one. We did the 13-point pearls for Oyster Bay. We helped out with that. We did some other, you always try to help out your fellow man as best you can. Sometimes for the good, sometimes for the worst, but mostly good. Thank God. But yeah, so it's been good. It's been a fun ride.
Yeah, and you're going to continue. So when you go home tonight, what's that next project? You got an early crew call tomorrow?
Oh yeah. Well, our next project is a whole house renovation again in Woodberry. It's a farm ranch, and we're going to take it apart and put it back. But now that's talking with the homeowner. They want a modern motif, so you're going to do very contemporary casement windows, perfectly placed, centered, very clean lines, and that's modern motif.
And if you're going to remodel one room, if you had, let's say, 20 grand to redo one thing, you're going to put your house on the market. Do you invest in a kitchen, bathroom, dining room? What's the hot it item right now?
Oh, kitchen.
Kitchen.
Always.
Always put your money in a
Yeah,
kitchen.
always and forever.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good
yeah,
to know.
Yeah.
You're going to stay and have some pizza?
I will.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's been fun to visit with you. Stay tuned for more on Live It Up. We've been visiting with John Lancia. Stay tuned for more.